This Weather Scope is sponsored by ShopVac. The only thing more powerful is our name.
This is Weather Scope.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Weather Scope. I'm Sharon Resultan. We have a lot to cover tonight, including severe weather that hit Florida earlier today, plus a live report from Super Bowl 32 in San Diego. But we begin with the snow and the ice in the Northeast, and with details on that, here's Jeff in the Forecast Center.
All right, thanks, Sharon. And indeed, pretty much what we thought was going to happen happened. All that moisture that was riding up from the south overran the cold air in place, the big Arctic high we were talking about last night in the Northeast. The result, a little bit of snow, sleet, and freezing rain in places like New York, particularly north and west of town. And if you headed way up north, up to Brookline, New Hampshire, it was mostly snow, although some areas starting to mix with a little bit of sleet and freezing rain in the southern areas of Vermont and New Hampshire right now. But this is better news, better snow than the major ice storm that we had just 2 weeks ago. And indeed, the folks in Vermont say this much snow's not that much of a problem. As a matter of fact, for some areas, it's a blessing. And here to talk about that, Jim Cantore. He's live at Stowe, Vermont. Jim?
Jeff, I'll tell you, man, this is what it's all about right here. I mean, this is the best job in the world. I got to say this right now. Here we are at Stowe, Vermont, looking up at the gondola, which is actually stopped now because of the high winds of the mountain, 65 to 70 miles an hour. They got some night skiing here at the Midway Lodge at Stowe, and things have ended this evening as a result of the high winds. Also, Jeff, we're starting to mix in with a little sleet. You may be able to hear it, and you may be able to see it bouncing off my arm here. So some sleet mixing in with some heavy snow, and no doubt that's going to help actually, I think, weight some of this powder down. It's been a great day. We've got about 8 inches of snow on the ground. And joining me now, we got John and Teresa. We found some riders of the storm. And these folks are pretty psyched about being here. What do you say, guys?
It's an excellent day. Snow is killer, and everybody should be out here enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's really nice. The weather's nice. It's not too cold. Conditions are great for riding today. It was great.
You guys made some runs before the gondola closed down, right?
Right.
Beautiful turns, man. Deep snow, at least a foot up there.
All right, you're not bragging either. I was up there with them, and believe me, you can make some absolutely fantastic turns. Here's the story from Stowe. We don't have ice, we got snow, some sleet mixing in, but I think that's good news. That's just going to hold the snow down and make for a great ski day tomorrow. Back to you, Jeff.
That's got to be a first for the Weather Channel, Jim. Shredders on the Weather Channel.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. I don't think Jim could be much happier than where he is right now.
You can tell he's in his element.
He is definitely in his element. Joining me now, senior meteorologist Colin Marquis, and it's pretty much playing out like we thought it would, this whole storm.
Yeah, actually, chalk one up for the folks here at the Weather Channel. And for the most part, lots of snow across the North Country, and the ski area is going to make out like bandits. Mixing with sleet and freezing rain, and I'm thinking now that the problem areas as far as accumulating ice may be from central and western Massachusetts, eventually into southern New Hampshire, and eventually into interior southwestern Maine as well.
All right. Here's the satellite radar composite, and I just wanted to put this up here to show you all the moisture which is surging on to the north. Let's go right to the current weather map, and again, orange indicating where it has turned over already to sleet and freezing rain.
Right, and something that Jim mentioned, the strong winds at the top of the mountain indicating that pretty strong low-level jet around 2,000–3,000 feet above the ground. That's transporting lots of warmth and moisture, and that's why we're seeing it mixing with sleet up across Vermont. And eventually that's going to work northeastward into central and northern New Hampshire and Maine as well.
All right, some of the coldest air is still hanging on up here in Maine, and it's pretty much all snow up there at the present time. Do you think Maine is going to get most of it as far as the snow is concerned?
Yeah, I do. Basically, an area like this, including the Green Mountains, northern Green Mountains, White Mountains, and the western mountains of Maine, mainly snow, although a little bit of mixing with sleet there is certainly in the cards too. Portland's still sitting there in the mid-20s. And north wind, but eventually I think the warm air is going to work or win out, and even in coastal Maine it's going to turn to rain.
Freezing line right now, pretty much something on the order of that, I would imagine.
It's raining right now in Boston and western suburbs as well, but the mix area, most importantly, is Worcester and up toward Manchester.
And a quick look at where we think, and exactly where you said up here, where the cold air is going to hang on longest, that's where the snow may pile up the deepest.
A skier's dream.
A skier's dream, like Jim was saying, just some gorgeous weather for the skiers. All right, thanks, Colin, and we'll be back with Colin and Jim in about a half an hour. Right now, though, we want to remind you that if you're away from your TV, you can always check out our website at weather.com. Let's give it back to Sharon now with a look out west.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Heavy rain and severe storms cross portions of Florida today, and that leads our look at the rest of the nation. A confirmed tornado tore through the Indigo Mobile Home Park in Grove City, Florida this morning. Charlotte County officials say several people reported seeing the tornado. 20 to 25 other homes were reported damaged. Thankfully, no injuries were reported as that particular storm moved on through. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the storm reports. And we did have several confirmed tornadoes into Florida as the thunderstorms rumbled on through earlier in the day. Fortunately, not looking at anything like that out there right now, as finally seeing most of the activity coming to an end and the heavier precipitation and the stronger storms moving on out. So there is some good news there. But you can see how skies are clearing out, precipitation moving off to the north and to the east. Just a little bit of rain remaining here across parts of Florida. Nothing like what you've had to deal with over the past 24 to 36 hours. Richmond, Norfolk, all the way back down toward the Wilmington area, still a little bit of rain, but again on the